Hello friends, today I take up a new topic and this is a very current topic. As you know that on 10th March election results were declared for 5 states in India, and in 4 states BJP got thumping majority, and in 1 state Aam Aadmi Party trounced Congress Party in Punjab and got landslide victory. In a house of 117 members, Aam Aadmi Party captured 92 members. This is unprecedented outcome. So today the name of the topic is role of caste in the Indian politics, and the important lesson plan includes why is it in the news, politicization of caste, caste factor in political socialization and leadership recruitment, caste and party politics, caste and election, caste as a divisive and cohesive factor of Indian politics. So one by one I will discuss under these points how caste influence election outcome of a particular state and what are its impediments or limitations. So I will discuss one by one under these headings. Now you see that increase in the organizational power of caste and again the social base of different political party in UP 2022 election. I will show you the chart why Srimati Priyanka Gandhi failed in 2022 UP election. When caste fails to influence election outcome, it means what are the limitations upon caste as an influencing factor upon election outcome, and finally conclusion. So friends, one by one I will discuss these points. Now you see, this is the chart for the UP election, where which party got how much percentage of votes. So you can see by this pie chart that 41.6% votes were captured by BJP in UP election 2022, and 32% votes were garnered by Samajwadi Party. 12.8% votes were captured by Bahujan Samaj Party, although it got only 1 seat in a state assembly. Now other parties were just a fringe group. Now you can see that AAP Party got only 0.35%, All India Muslim AIM got only 0.47% and CPI 0.07%. Congress Party got 2.38%, lowest in its history. IUML, no. Again CPIM 0.01%. So now you see that CPI, CPM, Congress Party, even BSP or AIMIM, all these parties, AAP Party, they have become fringe party in UP. Now there are 2 parties which are face to face and they are destined to capture power in next elections. One is led by Samajwadi Party and another is BJP, which has now captured power in UP. Now, why is it in the news? And I have already discussed about it, that while the Aam Aadmi Party trounced Congress and got landslide victory in Punjab, it got 42% votes. So, result also indicated that Congress lost its social base in UP, and I will show you the chart, the graph, and will show you how Congress lost its social base. And the slogan of empowerment of women by Srimati Priyanka Gandhi failed disastrously. It had no takers. Now, most Dalits except Jatavs voted for BJP, thereby leaving Bahujan Samaj Party on account of welfare measures adopted by BJP at center and state levels. Now, Samajwadi Party increased its vote share by 10%. Earlier, it got only 22%. Now, its vote share raised to 32%. But in spite of getting 10% increase in its vote share, it could not capture power. Why? Because the vote share of BJP also increased by 2%. So, why? Because forward caste voted for BJP, albeit reluctantly, for want of no alternative available to them, and because they did not want to vote Samajwadi Party, because they perceive Samajwadi Party as Yadav dominated party. So now what you see, that BJP further added 2% votes, I have already told you. Next. Now another point is politicization of caste. Before going to another point, I will just discuss about what is caste. Friends, as you know that caste is an important phenomenon of Indian society, along with joint family system and village system, self-sufficient village system. Caste is an important social system of our country. Now, what are its special features? Friends, as you know that it is endogamous. A particular caste men are not allowed to marry outside their caste. However, caste is divided into different clans, and clans are exogamous while caste is endogamous. All caste brethren are ordained to marry within their caste. So it is endogamous. Secondly, its basic feature is hierarchical. Friends, as you know that at the top is Brahman, and then Kshatriya, then Vaishya and Shudra, and at the bottom is untouchable. So what you see that another important point of caste is it is based upon hierarchy. Now there is restriction upon occupation. Every caste has been assigned a particular occupation. For example, iron smith is to work for iron smelting, melting, or making weapons out of iron. Civil and religious privileges for Brahmanas. Disabilities upon lower caste like untouchability, and finally restrictions upon marriage. So you see that these are the important features of caste system. However, many changes has occurred recent time because of the democratization of our polity and because of the adoption of our constitution since 26 January 1950. So we see that because of the adult suffrage and giving reservation to scheduled caste, scheduled tribes in state assemblies and parliament, and also in government job, because of the transport facilities, because of the democratization of our polity, because of the number game in democracy, what you find? Large amount of changes occurred in caste system. Now there is no restrictions upon particular occupation. Similarly, the hierarchical structure of caste has become diffused, and most of the people now intermarry with other caste people. So we see that the privileges enjoyed by Brahmins earlier, that privilege is now completely cut off or withdrawn. Now everybody is equal before laws. Rule of law and equal protection of law has been guaranteed by our constitution. So now there is no civil or religious privileges to upper class, and similarly the disabilities imposed or thrust upon lower caste, I mean scheduled caste and scheduled tribe or untouchables, have been abolished by enactment of law. I mean right to untouchability. Now it is a fundamental right under Article 17, and government made laws as a special protection law to abolish untouchability in any form. So friends, you see that different changes occurred within the caste system. However, caste system is still intact, although its functions has changed in recent time. And how caste has influenced Indian politics, this is our subject matter today. Now another point is politicization of caste. Friends, as you know that politicization of caste is a double process. Caste needs politics and politics needs caste. Both are complementary to each other. And so when caste grouping makes politics their sphere of activities, they also get a chance to assert their identity and to strive for their position. And that's why we see that now in India, what you find? There is an identity politics. And why this is so? Because people identify with their caste leaders, great leaders, and so they identify themselves with their caste leader. For example, Dalits now identify themselves with Dr. Ambedkar. It is another thing that Dr. Ambedkar, his identity is not restricted to being only a Dalit. He was also a great constitution maker or father of Indian constitution, but now Dalits identify with Dr. Ambedkar. So what you see that competition among major caste group for political power because of the election that occurs periodically in our country, and again due to adult franchise and Panchayati Raj system at the district level, what we see that intermediate caste also aspired to get dominant position in every sphere. Another important impact of caste system has been that the vertical solidarity of caste weakened with the passage of time, and the Jajmani system, which strengthened vertical solidarity, that is now diffused. But as far as horizontal solidarity is concerned, it has become more and more strong. caste factor in political socialization and leadership recruitment. Friends, as you know that different caste groups have their loyalties behind different political parties, certain and their ideologies. As you know that in Bihar, Rashtriya Janata Dal banks upon Yadav caste as its core group, and by the combination of, because you know that one caste cannot get a majority, so it has to combine with other castes. Like in earlier time, when Lalu Yadav was at the zenith of his career, he combined Muslim Harjans with Yadav caste, and by this combination he ruled Bihar for 15 years. So what you see that different caste groups have their loyalty behind different political party. For example, Bahujan Samaj Party and Susri Mayawati, she banks upon her own castemen like Jatav in UP. Friends, as you know that out of the total population of UP, 22% are Dalits, and out of 22% Dalits, the population of Jatavs are 11%. I mean, half of the Dalits belongs to Jatav community. So what we see that similarly Akali Dal in Punjab completely bank upon Jat Sikhs or farmer. So this predominance of a particular caste can be found in different parts of the country. In Andhra Pradesh, you can find that there are three important dominant castes: Kammas, Reddy and Kapu. And so, since long time, in undivided Andhra Pradesh, Congress party totally relied upon and banked upon Reddys. Now, Reddys shifted to YSR Congress, which is now ruling bifurcated Andhra Pradesh. So caste values and caste interest influence socialization and consequently its political thinking, awareness and participation. In Western UP, Chaudhry Charan Singh commanded the loyalty of his own caste Jat, and he combined with Muslims, and for more than 30 years he had been a relevant force in Western UP. No party could defeat him. Even Srimati Gandhi could not defeat him in Western UP because of the combination of Jat, Muslim and Yadav combination. So caste influences the process of leadership recruitment. Friends, as you know that dominant caste, every state in India has certain dominant caste. As I have alluded, Andhra Pradesh, where three dominant castes are Kammas, Reddys and Kapu. So similarly in Haryana, Jats are dominant caste. And so what you see that in those states where dominant caste influence the politics of that state, there is a certain process of leadership recruitment from dominant caste. And so we find different leaders who evolved out of dominant caste for leadership, and then they align with certain political parties. Now caste and party politics. Friends, as you know that caste factor is a constituent of an Indian political system. Some political parties have a direct caste base while others indirectly bank upon particular caste group. I have already told you that Bahujan Samaj Party or Samajwadi Party in UP, RLD, Rashtriya Lok Dal in Western UP, or Akali Dal in Punjab, they have got backing of certain dominant caste in their states, and that's why they have been capturing power for the last 30 to 40 years. And so they directly recruit from the dominant caste. Some other party, even secular party like Congress Party or national party like CPI and CPM, they are also indirectly dependent upon dominant caste for their support. Now regional parties stand predominantly by direct caste factor like DMK, AIDMK in Tamil Nadu, Akali Dal in Punjab, BSP in UP. Now this is the chart that is being shown to you, that how BSP seat share in UP declined with the passage of time. Now you see that the general seats is written, the bar chart for general seat is in pink and for the SC reserved seat is in blue. So what you find in 1993, BSP vote share for general seat were 13.6, for SC reserved seat were 25.6. The heyday of BSP was in 2007 when BSP alone captured power in Uttar Pradesh. Now what you see that in 2007 the vote share of BSP was 46% in general seats, and scheduled caste reserved seats it was 68.9%. Now after 2007, what you see that in 2012 the vote share declined both in scheduled caste reserved seat and general seats. Similarly in 2017 again it's declined, and by 2022 in recent election now it is at the bottom line. So you can see that the vote share of Bahujan Samaj Party rapidly declined, and now it has been reduced to a fringe group in in UP. Caste and elections. Friends, as you know that in selection of candidates, in allocation of constituencies, or in canvassing, political parties give importance to caste, particular caste nominees. Votes are demanded in the name of caste. Political party also see as to which constituency has predominant or dominant caste, and that caste men are given ticket by all political parties. So what you see that basically in our country in normal time it is the combination of caste that fight election. In Bihar, in 2020 election, RJD combined with Congress Party and other small groups, other small caste group, and it was meant to have a winning combination of caste. against BJP, I mean JDU, Nitish Kumar led front. In other backward class like Koiri, Kurmi or BJP support base of upper caste, they all are combined together and then they are pitted against another combination led by Rashtriya Janata Dal. So friend, what you see? We see that the combination of caste fight election in different states in normal times. Now caste has a divisive and cohesive force. So you see that leads to unhealthy competition or a struggle for power. Again, it also acts as cohesive force, gives rights to caste solidarity. And I have already told you that with the introduction of adult franchise and elections, we see that there is a growth in the horizontal solidarity of different castes. Now, 2 or the 3 big caste group leads to factionalism, where in a state where there are 3 or 4 dominant castes, there is always a struggle or factionalism among these dominant castes in order to capture power. Now, increase in the organizational power of caste. Friends, as you know that I have already defined as to what constitutes caste, but with the passage of time, the role and function of caste has also changed. Now, caste consciousness of the member has been increasing, wants to safeguard its interest, want to organize itself, and competitive role of caste identity is reinforced. So, instead of becoming weakening of caste system on account of transport system, on account of education system, what we perceive, it is just contrary. And what is that? With the passage of time, with the democratization of our polity, caste consciousness of the members is also increasing. Now, this is a chart that you will show as to what constitutes the social base of different political parties in UP in 2022 election, the recent election. What you see? That how caste and community voted in 2022. This chart will show you that Brahmins, now they are 7% out of the total population of UP. So what you see that BJP in 2017 got 83% votes of Brahmins. Now in 2022 got 89%. SP in 2017 it was only 7%, and in 2022 the vote share was only 6%. For BSP in 2017 it was 2%. Now in 2022 Brahmin totally discarded Bahujan Samaj Party, and now for Indian National Congress in 2017 it was 1%, and now in 2022 it is 1%. So there is no change. Similarly, for Rajput, they also formed 7% of the total population of UP. What you find? 70% vote share was for BJP in 2017. Now it increased to 87%. And for SP it was only 7%. For Congress, no change at all. So what you see by this chart? We see that the upper caste voted in masse for BJP, like Vaishya, Rajput, Brahmins and other upper caste. All these upper caste people who constitute around 18% of the total population, they voted predominantly for BJP. Now, what you see that Yadav, who constitute 11% of the total population, what you see that for SP in 2022 election, we find 83% Yadavs voted for Samajwadi Party. Jatav, who constitute 12% of the total population, now what you see that for Bahujan Samaj Party, it voted 87% in 2017 election, but in 2022 election, only 65% Jatavs voted for Bahujan Samaj Party. And what we find that BJP has a strong social base by way of support from upper caste and non-Yadav OBCs. For example, Jat, they constitute only 2%. Kurmi, they constitute 5%. Koiri, Morj, Kushwaha, Saini, 4%. What do you find? You see this. Jat, 54% Jats voted for BJP. Similarly, Kurmi, 66% voted for BJP. So what you find that upper caste, non-Jatav Dalits and non-Yadav OBCs voted for BJP. For Samajwadi Party, what we find that Yadavs predominantly voted for Samajwadi Party. Similarly, Muslims, which constitute 19%, and now 79% Muslims voted for Samajwadi Party. Only 8% Muslims voted for BJP, and only 3% voted for Congress Party. Earlier in 2017 election, 19% Muslims voted for Congress Party. So what you see that even Muslims left Congress. So friends, what you find by this chart that Bahujan Samaj Party has a social base in Jatav, Dalit community. For BJP, it is the support of upper caste, then non-Yadav OBCs and non-Jatav Dalits. For Samajwadi Party, Yadavs, Muslims and some other OBCs like Rajbhars, they are the support base for Samajwadi Party. But for Congress, what you find by this chart, you will see that there is no base, there is no social base left for Congress. So what is the need of the hour? If Congress wants to revive itself, it will have to make social engineering in a biggest state of India like UP, where caste dominates than other factors. The Jat Muslim Yadav alliance did not materialize in Western UP. Only Muslim and Yadav, only 30% of the electorate concentrated behind Samajwadi Party. Congress completely failed to win away upper caste votes. 83% Yadavs hovered around Samajwadi Party. 79% Muslims voted for Samajwadi Party. Now, I switch over to another point. Why Srimati Priyanka Gandhi failed in 2022 UP election? Number one, women cutting across caste affiliation did not vote for her. She gave one third ticket, I mean around 160 tickets to women in a house of 403 members. Now what you find that Congress party got only 2.36%. So what you see that women as a strong vote bank did not vote for Congress party. The primordial loyalties like caste, creed, region, clan superseded over women as a separate vote bank. Her thrust on one-third representation to women had no takers. In a feudal and caste-ridden society like UP and Bihar, it will take a long time for women to establish their own identities bereft of caste, creed, clan, family, religion and region. So it was a tactical mistake on the part of Congress party led by Srimati Priyanka Gandhi. Now, when caste fails to influence election outcome, friends, till now I have been discussing about the role of caste as a factor to influence election outcome in India. Now this is true, but in certain circumstances, in exceptional circumstances, caste have no role to play. For example, in 19, when waves occur in favor of a particular party or a particular leader, people vote cutting across caste lines. Now, for example, in 1977, people defeated Srimati Indira Gandhi by voting newly formed Janata Party government and made Morarji Desai as Prime Minister of India. Now, in 2014, when people were fed up with the policy paralysis and corruption at high places, people voted for BJP led by Narendra Modi. And now, what you see that in its history, BJP got majority on its own by getting 282 seats in Lok Sabha. So, similarly in Punjab, this year 2022 election, what you find? That Aam Aadmi Party completely trounced Congress Party, which was in power. And now it captured power by getting 42% of the votes, and its seat tally was 92 out of 117 seats in Punjab Assembly. So friends, what you see? Why people voted in masse for Aam Aadmi Party for the first time? Because Congress could not address the deceleration of economic growth in Punjab. The food production was dwindling and there was acute problem of unemployment among the Punjabi youth. Similarly, Congress government in Punjab did not address liquor, drug and sand mafias. So what you see that people are very much attracted by the Delhi model of governance by the Aam Aadmi Party, and these factors led to the wave in favor of Aam Aadmi Party, and this resulted into the landslide victory for Aam Aadmi Party under the leadership of Arvind Kejriwal. Now, friends, I come to the conclusion. What conclusion I derived from this lecture? Number one, India is still to be integrated politically and economically. Different states have different level of development, economic development, giving rise to regional sentiment in different states. Friends, You know that in our country, Maharashtra is the most industrialized state, and now it is going to touch 1 trillion GDP. Now, if you compare with Eastern UP and Bihar, what we find that these states have no, these cannot be compared with Maharashtra. Most of the people of the large number of people everywhere, every year go to Maharashtra in search of livelihood, in search of seeking jobs. So what you find that Eastern UP and Bihar are at the lower level of development, while southern states like Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Telangana, Karnataka, even Maharashtra, these states grew by leaps and bounds after our independence. So it results into regional sentiments, leading to the rise of regional parties in India. Now, India is still to be a homogeneous society, and this gives more importance to caste in political mobilization. So friends, what you see that like Western Europe, our society is still to be a homogeneous society. Even in a state, there is a intra-regional disparities. Even among different demographic population, we find different level of development. For example, if you compare with the standard of living of tribals with the high caste Hindus in a particular state, say Madhya Pradesh, you will find there is a lot of difference between both communities. So India is still to be a homogeneous society like Western Europe, and that's why caste plays an important role in politicalization or political socialization of Indian society. Friends, now I am winding up my lecture. If you like my lecture, please share and subscribe, and please tell your friend that this is a free channel. Please take advantage out of my numerous videos. Please just type AJIS Academy on YouTube and my Facebook page, and you will get numerous videos. Thank you very much.